Absolutely. Paulie, we have a super fight with Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. Two New Jersey and New York fighters. What do you think about Brooklyn, New York? You're from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
What do you think about the whole fight?
It's a difficult fight to really pick. If there's a replay there. You wanna give Shakur the edge, and I do, but Teo is not something to play with because when he's got his back to the wall, he becomes the most difficult guy to deal with, And he's got his best performances when people count him out. And then when people feel like he's gonna win easily, he's got his worst performances. So this is one of those times where Teo could make it really, really interesting. Shakur for me is a possible pound for pound #1 at one time. But if there's a guy who could be a threat to him, it is Teo because Teo has that little bit of difference-making ability.
Paulie Malignaggi latest breakdown of the upcoming Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez super fight feels less like a prediction and more like a warning. While the rest of the boxing world is mesmerized by Teofimo's raw power and the takeover brand, Malignaggi is looking at something much colder and more clinical. He believes that come January 31st, 2026, Teofimo isn't just walking into a fight, he's walking into a trap set by arguably the smartest boxer on the planet. The former two-weight world champion argues that while Teofimo relies on moments of explosive brilliance, Shakur Stevenson operates like a machine that simply doesn't make mistakes. And according to Paulie, when you pit a moment against a machine, the result is usually painful.
You know, Shakur is a very talented, skillful, technique fighter.
Yeah.
You know, can't take anything away from it. However, scared to get hit. Scared to get knocked out in front of the world, scared to get touched up in front of the world. And
are you saying that off of the last fight or just
in general?
In general.
In general.
Yeah.
In general. Me and Shakur sparred before. We did 3 rounds and it was just light work and me trying to figure out his jab. Because he have a good jab? Yeah, he does. But once you pass his jab, it's game.
Yeah.
It's food, it's lunch food. I am the best. I don't see no contract that says Shakur's name on there.
Yeah.
So until then, I'm gonna say and talk my stuff.
Yeah.
And if you want to come that way, then come that way. I mean, you have investors that are with you, and that's great, but they understand that they cannot have you come this way. Because I am too much of a gamble for anybody.
What makes this analysis so fascinating is that Paulie actually respects the danger Teofimo brings, but he frames it through what he calls a specific paradox. Malignaggi points out that Teofimo Lopez is only truly dangerous when his back is against the wall. We saw it when he dethroned Lomachenko and when he silenced Josh Taylor. When the world counts him out, Teofimo wakes up. Paulie admits that because Teo is the underdog here, he is a live threat, someone you can never fully sleep on because he thrives on disrespect.
Shakur for me is a possible pound for pound #1 at one time. But if there's a guy who could be a threat to him, it is Teo because Teo has that little bit of difference-making ability.
Is it a 60-40 fight? Is it still close?
I mean, it's probably 60-40, maybe even higher, but that's a live 30 and 40 by Teofimo because, again, the way he shows up is very, very difficult and tricky.
But it's very rare for fighters to fight in their prime nowadays. They're both, 28 years old. They're fighting in their prime. You got to give a lot of respect to both of them, right?
Yeah, you do. And that's the problem. You don't see a lot of fights happening in the guys' primes. They milk the money and stuff like that. That's why I give these two guys credit. Virgil Ortiz is trying to fight everybody in their prime. He fought Boachuk and they were in prime. He's trying to fight Duran now. You know, there's certain guys that will do it. Lomachenko tried to always do that. You got to give credit to guys that do that, you know. Usyk did that a lot, but so for these two guys, they're gonna fight it. It's definitely a treat for boxing fans.
However, Malignaggi argues that relying on emotional volatility is a dangerous game. For every Josh Taylor performance, there is a Jermaine Ortiz or a Sandor Martin performance. Nights where Teofimo looked flat, confused, and frustrated because he couldn't just blow his opponent away. Paulie's assessment puts the fight at a 60-40 split in favor of Shakur, which sounds close, but in the world of elite boxing, that 20% gap is a canyon. He believes that while Teofimo needs chaos to win, Shakur just needs to be himself. The consistency gap is massive, and in a 12-round chess match, relying on an X factor usually isn't enough to crack a code that has never been broken.
I mean, it's probably 60-40, maybe even higher, but that's a live 30 and 40 by Teofimo because, again, the way he shows up is very, very difficult and tricky.
This is where Malignaggi's expertise as a pure boxer really shines through. He breaks down the style matchup in a way that spells trouble for the Lopez camp. Teofimo Lopez is an explosive counterpuncher who loves it when opponents come to him or stand still long enough to be hit. But Shakur Stevenson? He is the final boss of distance control. Paulie explains that Shakur's fight IQ is likely the highest in the sport right now. He doesn't just dodge punches, he neutralizes the idea of offense. The trap, according to Paulie, is simple but devastating. Shakur's defensive responsibility means Teofimo will constantly have to reset his feet. He won't be able to plant and throw those bombs because the target will vanish before the trigger is pulled. We've seen Teofimo struggle with movers before, specifically in the fights against Martin and Ortiz, where he looked visibly annoyed that his opponents wouldn't engage in a brawl. Paulie predicts that Shakur will exploit this impatience. He sees a fight where Teofimo loads up on big shots, hits nothing but air, and gets picked apart by sharp counters every time he falls off balance. It's not about who hits harder, it's about who controls the geometry of the ring, and Paulie claims Shakur is playing a different game entirely.
Because Shakur is looked at by and large as the guy who can dominate boxing in this generation, right? It's just a matter of him getting the opportunity. I myself have felt that he's the guy who could and should be dominating boxing if he gets the right matchups. But bro, this is one of the rare matchups, if not maybe the only matchup, where I feel like it's a big threat here to Shakur. And then they would all come undone only because of this reason. Teofimo Lopez, we've seen him at his best, but he typically brings out his best characteristics when he's back against the wall and he's counted out. And he's going to be counted out in this fight. By and large, people are going to side with Shakur in this fight to win the fight because he's the more consistent fighter, he's the more class fighter overall, and he's just so damn good. But Teofimo has a way, when you're so damn good and he knows you're so damn good and everybody feels like you're gonna beat him, there's just something about Teofimo, man. He brings out a different level and somehow supersedes that guy who is that damn good. I've seen it. We've seen it already. I'm not saying anything that anybody else hasn't already seen, okay? I'm just stipulating it.
Of course, the Lopez camp sees it very differently, and this is where the tension starts to boil over. Teofimo Lopez Sr., never one to shy away from a microphone, claims they have already broken the code on technical fighters. He points to the Lomachenko fight as proof that they know how to dismantle high IQ boxers. The father-trainer duo insists that they won't let Shakur get comfortable, promising a level of aggression and pressure that Stevenson has never faced in his career.
You've had to come up with some good game plans over the years to beat some great fighters, Lomachenko, Taylor, among them. How difficult is this man, Shakur Stevenson, to prepare for?
Well, I see their weakness. That's what I do. You know, we broke the code with Loma that nobody had ever done. You know, we didn't let him get comfortable in there. You saw that, you know, within like 8 rounds, he didn't know what to do. I did the same thing with Josh Taylor, and we're gonna do the same thing with Shakur.
All right, we'll start with the fighters now. We'll start over here to my left with Shakur Stevenson. You're nodding your head as you listen to Teofimo Sr. Any reaction to what he just said?
I'm not none of them fighters. I think that he did some great things against them guys. I seen a lot of weaknesses in his game too, and something that he said earlier, he said, Teo never lost to Southpaw. Well, I never lost to Orthodox. So it ain't no different, but
the difference is you never fought no elite fighter.
Okay, I don't think y'all did either.
Oh, so you gotta show it, baby.
I don't think y'all did either.
But the press conference at Madison Square Garden suggested that the pressure might already be getting to them. The psychological warfare was intense, with Lopez Sr. screaming that they would end Shakur's hype train. They are banking on the idea that Shakur's boring style, as they call it, hides a lack of heart. They believe that once they penetrate Shakur's mind and force him into a dogfight, the technical mastery will crumble. But Paulie's analysis suggests this confidence might be misplaced. He notes that claiming to break a code and actually doing it against a prime, undefeated southpaw like Shakur are two very different things.
I said, I got one guy fighting with ego and I got one guy fighting with discipline. And that's what it was, because he just went out there and was just trying to knock him out from round 1. And it was not working out well. Now, is he going to do that against Shakur? Absolutely not. But also, we've seen him struggle with guys like Jermaine Ortiz. We've seen him struggle with, who was the Canadian guy who, I mean, not that he struggled, but he failed to really impress.
And also, Martin.
Sandor Martin, another one that he a lot of people thought that he could have dropped the decision.
Were those
that
fights
night.
that people counted him out in? No, that's the thing.
No, he was heavy favorite, and they were fights that did not entice him. And if you look at his best performances, there are guys that him and his father have chosen to fight. He called out Lomachenko years before they fought, and people were like, whoa, kid, pump the brakes. No, they saw something. He called out Josh Taylor a weight class below and years out, said I could beat that guy. He called out Jaron Ennis. Obviously, he didn't fight Jaron, but when him and his father put their heads together and they see something in a guy and they end up taking a fight like this that's dangerous where he's the underdog, watch out.
Things took a much darker, more personal turn during the media run, shifting from competitive banter to genuine hostility. Shakur Stevenson didn't just attack Teofimo's boxing skills, he attacked his character. Shakur accused Teofimo of making disrespectful comments about Black and Puerto Rican people in the past, bringing a heavy layer of racial tension into the matchup. Shakur stated clearly that this isn't just business anymore. He wants to make Teofimo pay for those words.
How do you respond to that, Teofimo? It was on Boxing Scene, and it said, Teofimo Lopez seems to have a real disdain for Black fighters, and they were talking about, I guess, quotes that you have made about certain fighters, whether it be Tank, whether it be Crawford.
Man, I grew up seeing these guys talk trash. I grew up with more Black people than I ever grew up with Latinos. Beating Shakur Stevenson, don't tell me he wasn't Black because he's Puerto Rican. I just want to fight Black fighters. Kid you not. It was like, you fight like a Black fighter from the way you box and everything. You're Black, but you're not, but you fight like a Black fighter. And it's like, yeah, because I grew up with mainly around that environment. Did I try something? Reverse, take it around, see what we could do, clean the image, and face a guy like Shakur Stevenson and give him his first loss and see where that goes.
This adds a volatile element to the fight that even Paulie Malignaggi's analysis can't fully quantify. When a fighter fights with anger, they often make mistakes. However, Shakur has shown an uncanny ability to fight angry while remaining perfectly cold and calculated in the ring. He promised to embarrass Teofimo, not just beat him. This accusation clearly rattled Teofimo, who tried to pivot back to mental warfare, claiming Shakur was weak-minded. But the damage was done. The hostility in the air was thick enough to cut, and it guarantees that when that first bell rings, there will be no touching gloves and no mutual respect, just bad blood. Just when you thought the drama was contained to the two men in the ring, the Ryan Garcia show crashed the party. In one of the most bizarre moments of the entire promotion, Ryan Garcia appeared via video link during the press conference. He wasn't there to analyze the fight, he was there to cause chaos. Ryan loudly bet $10,000 on Shakur to win, but in the same breath, he started insulting Shakur, calling him names and disrespecting his skills.
No way, but I do have Shakur beating him though.
Yo,
I do have you beating him.
I will whoop your ass.
Bro, I'll pop that gap right back in that mouth. I'll have you looking like a saber gap tooth tiger. Oh my God, I'll do you dirty. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
You suck.
Hey, though. You though. Oh my, here we go.
I don't care.
Not the same fighter. Hey, not the same fighter. Not the same. Hey, when I put a beat on you, what are you gonna say? When I put a beat on you, what are you gonna say?
I was there.
Hey, no, when I put a beat on you. I'm talking about you. You got no power. You got no power.
And you lost. And you still scared him to this day.
No. Bro, I'm gonna knock that gap right back in your mouth. I'm gonna knock that gap into your mouth again. Yeah, you fixed the teeth. You fixed the teeth, but I'm gonna knock that right back in.
It's your dream.
Bam.
It's Shakur's time right now.
Well, hold on, Shakur. How do you answer to those who say you have to have a certain amount of power to keep the elite fighters off you? Because Ryan's saying you don't hit hard enough to keep elite fighters off you. What do you say to that?
I will be Ryan, I will be Teo, I'll be Devin, I'll be all these guys, bro. All these guys are good fighters. I don't take none away from them, but they can't beat me.
I will say that. So is it safe to say that Teo is probably the best opponent you faced so far?
I don't know. You'll see when you get in there. You never know. Somebody that y'all don't know may be better than Teo, and we'll see come fight night. So I don't know.
It turned into a shouting match instantly. Shakur, who has previous beef with Garcia, threatened to knock Ryan's teeth out again, referencing past sparring rumors. It was a surreal scene, a fighter betting on you to win while simultaneously trash-talking you. For Teofimo, this was a distraction. For Shakur, it was just more noise, but it highlighted the sheer magnitude of this event. It's not just a boxing match, it's a cultural moment where every big name wants a piece of the spotlight. Paulie Malignaggi might be focused on the sweet science, but the ecosystem around this fight has turned into a circus, and maintaining focus amidst this level of noise is a skill in itself.
How do you envision it? I mean, I'm sure you played it out in your mind a bunch of times already.
Me just making a great fighter look average. That's how I see it.
Are you gonna fight like the Zepeda way? Because that was the first time we see you fight like that.
I can't tell you how I'm gonna fight. I fight different styles for different people.
Yeah.
So I may fight this way for this guy. I may fight the other way for another guy. But my main objective is to get the job done.
Beneath the screaming fathers, the racial accusations, and the viral cameos, there is a fundamental truth that makes this fight unique. These two know each other. As analyst Wade Plem pointed out in the Inside the Fight breakdown, Shakur and Teofimo grew up in the same amateur circuit. They have sparred countless rounds. They have watched each other develop from kids into world champions. There are no secrets here. Teofimo knows exactly how fast Shakur is, and Shakur knows exactly how hard Teofimo hits. This familiarity often leads to a specific type of fight. Instead of a reckless war, it becomes a tactical stalemate where both men are terrified to make the first mistake. Paulie's prediction of a Shakur victory leans heavily on this dynamic. He believes that in a battle of pure knowledge, the guy with the better defense wins. If both men know what the other is going to do, the winner is the one who can execute their plan A more effectively. Shakur's plan A is to hit and not be hit. Teofimo's plan A relies on his opponent opening up. If Shakur refuses to open the door, Teofimo might spend 12 rounds knocking on a locked gate.
Yeah. We're heading into the biggest fight of your career, right? Like name-wise, accolade-wise, like this is the one, right? I feel like you've been clamoring for a fight for so long, like a fight where everybody's like, you know, I get to show my level. Do you think this is that fight? Like,
yes,
you're gonna have to show the level in this?
Yes. I mean, I think Teo the truth, bro. I think that me and him came up together. He been the truth. He been winning tournaments after tournaments with me, alongside of me. So I know what I'm dealing with, bro. I know what type of fighter this is. I know I gotta up my level that night because of who I'm in front of.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, how do you see it, right? Because I hear people saying different things, right? Like media pundits and fans. I brought this up to your grandfather on live the other day. Some people say Teo's more athletic than you. Do you agree with that?
I don't know. It's hard to say who's more athletic. How you gonna say, okay, let's say they say he more athletic than me. If he more athletic than me, and we go outside and do any sport, any other sport besides boxing, can he beat me at it?
What you mean, like basketball or race, or running a race?
Any sport, bro. Is he more athletic than me? Because, like, how you gonna be more athletic than me? You can't do nothing better than me at any sport.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I don't know. I wonder. I don't know. I mean, he's an athletic guy. I don't know.
I'm from the trenches, bro. I come from the hood, bro. He comes from where, bro?
He say Brooklyn, but he be saying he's from Brooklyn, though. I don't know where he's from.
From Florida.
Florida?
He's probably born in Brooklyn. Yeah. He's from Florida. But I'm just saying, like, where I come from is like the hood. I go outside and play basketball every day. I go outside and play football every day.
Yeah.
Of my life.
Yeah.
So for him to be like more athletic, okay, cool. That's what y'all call it, but man, I don't know. We'll see you on fight night.
Paulie Malignaggi's final verdict is clear. Shakur Stevenson is the pound-for-pound #1 talent in the world right now. He possesses a difference ability, a level of skill that separates the great fighters from the generational ones. While he gives Teofimo a respectable puncher's chance, Paulie sees the takeover hitting a dead end against the technical perfection of Stevenson. The sweet science is about hitting without getting hit, and nobody embodies that better than Shakur.
I see that, you you fought a little different with what's his name, Zepeda. Do you think you're gonna fight that same way, or it's gonna be a little different? I see it a little different, but
you fight everybody different, bro. You can't fight guys the same way. Zepeda was a volume puncher, and I had to fight him a certain way to win that fight. And when I fight Teo, I'm gonna have to fight different that night. I could do it all, bro. I got so much things in my arsenal to where I could do everything that I need to do to come out victorious.
So Teo was on this show last week, and he said, quote, Bud is sending one of his little guys to finish the job, and it's not going to work. What do you think of Teofimo basically saying that he's using you as a stepping stone to get to Bud Crawford?
That's good. I'm glad he think that way. I mean, he got a big vision in his brain, but come January 31st, when I get out there, it's going to be a lot different than he expect. It won't be the things that he's getting prepared for. I'm going to be a lot faster. I'm going to be a lot stronger. I'm going to be a lot better than what he thinks, so.
But fights aren't fought on paper. Teofimo Lopez has made a career out of ruining the plans of superior boxers. Come January 31st, we will find out if Paulie's logic holds up or if Teofimo's dynamite is enough to blow up the laboratory. One thing is for sure, after the bell rings, the talking stops, and one of these prime champions is leaving with a shattered ego. The only question left is whether it will be the X factor or the IQ that reigns supreme. But what are your predictions for this fight? Can Teofimo Lopez end Shakur's invincibility? Let us know in the comments. That's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.